Master your mindset, regain control, and find balance. In today's fast-paced world, stress and overwhelm have become a part of daily life. We rush from one task to another, constantly juggling responsibilities, yet still feel like we're falling behind. Sound familiar? The problem isn't just the demands of life, it's how we respond to them. What if the solution isn't working harder, but learning to work smarter by mastering your mindset? Today, we'll explore simple yet powerful strategies to regain control, find balance, and create a life of clarity and calm amidst the chaos. Stay with me as we uncover how small shifts in your perspective can transform your entire life. Are you ready to take the first step? 1. Focus on what you can control. Life is a symphony of uncertainties, an intricate dance of events often beyond our grasp. The Stoics, masters of navigating the unpredictable, teach us a timeless truth. The key to inner peace lies in focusing solely on what we can control. This profound yet simple idea has the power to transform how we live, think, and respond to the chaos of the world around us. At its core, this philosophy invites us to redirect our energy. Why waste precious mental and emotional resources agonizing over things we cannot influence? The weather will change, people will act unpredictably, and circumstances will shift without warning. But there is one constant: your ability to choose how you respond. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words are a beacon, reminding us that true power lies within. Consider a real-life scenario. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. Frustration bubbles up. Your mind races with thoughts of blame and regret. But pause for a moment. What can you control here? Certainly not the traffic, nor the ticking clock. Instead, you can control your mindset. You can choose to breathe deeply, accept the delay, and perhaps use the time to reflect, plan, or simply enjoy a moment of stillness. This shift in perspective transforms what could have been a source of stress into an opportunity for growth. The Stoics understood that focusing on what you can control is not about passive acceptance, it's about active mastery. It's about taking ownership of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, emphasized this beautifully. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. His life itself was a testament to this idea. Despite enduring hardship, he cultivated resilience and wisdom by mastering his inner world. Ask yourself, how often do you let external events dictate your peace of mind? How much energy do you spend fighting battles you cannot win? By choosing to focus on your responses, your actions, and your perspective, you reclaim your power. This is not just a practice, it's a form of liberation. The art of focusing on what you can control is a silent, private revolution. It requires no grand gestures, no external validation. It's a quiet commitment to yourself, a promise to live intentionally, to rise above the noise, and to find strength in the stillness of your own mind. The world will always be unpredictable, but your ability to master your inner world is the anchor that keeps you steady. Focus on what you can control and let the rest unfold as it will. 2. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Life often feels like an uncharted journey, scattered with unexpected hurdles. These moments of difficulty can feel overwhelming, even insurmountable. But the Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us a timeless truth. Obstacles are not barriers, they are stepping stones. They are not meant to block our path, but to shape it, to refine us, and to reveal our untapped potential. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is not just a philosophical statement, it's a call to transformation. Every challenge we encounter carries within it a hidden opportunity, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think of Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His journey of inventing the light bulb was riddled with obstacles. Yet, he reframed each setback as a lesson. Instead of succumbing to frustration, he saw failure as a teacher, a necessary part of the process. His story reminds us that obstacles are not the end of the road, they are the beginning of innovation. The Stoics practiced this mindset relentlessly. Epictetus, born into slavery and later crippled, could have been consumed by despair. Yet, he used his suffering as a forge to strengthen his character. He taught that we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we interpret and respond to it. By reframing our struggles, we transform them into opportunities for growth. Imagine facing a personal setback, perhaps losing a job or experiencing a failed relationship. It's easy to feel defeated, to spiral into self-doubt. But what if instead you asked yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience prepare me for something greater? These questions shift the narrative. They turn pain into purpose, adversity into advantage. Obstacles are not just challenges, they are mirrors reflecting our inner strength. They demand creativity, patience, and perseverance. They push us to dig deeper, to uncover reserves of resilience we didn't know we had. The process may be silent and private, but its impact is profound. Each obstacle overcome becomes a testament to our ability to adapt and thrive. The next time life places a barrier in your path, remember, it's not there to stop you, it's there to elevate you. Obstacles are opportunities in disguise, waiting for you to uncover their hidden gifts. All it takes is the courage to see beyond the surface, and the determination to turn the challenge into your greatest triumph. 3. Live in the present moment. In the rush of daily life, we often find ourselves caught in a web of distractions, regretting the past, worrying about the future, and overlooking the only moment that truly exists, the present. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, remind us to confine yourself to the present. Marcus Aurelius. This simple yet profound teaching has the power to calm the mind and center the soul. Living in the present moment is not about ignoring the past or neglecting the future. Instead, it's about fully embracing the here and now, appreciating its beauty and significance. The Stoics understood that the present is where life unfolds, where we can act, reflect, and grow. Dwelling too much on what has already passed or what is yet to come only robs us of the richness of the present. Imagine this: walking through a serene forest, the sunlight filtering through the trees, the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. But instead of noticing the tranquility around you, your mind is preoccupied with yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's uncertainties. You miss the beauty of the moment. The Stoics would urge you to pause, to breathe, to immerse yourself in the silence and stillness of the present. for it is in these moments of mindfulness that we find clarity and peace. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, taught that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. His words resonate deeply in a world that constantly pulls us away from the now. By grounding ourselves in the present, we free ourselves from the chains of regret and fear, allowing us to experience life in its fullness. Consider a modern example. You're at dinner with loved ones, but instead of engaging, your thoughts drift to unfinished work or upcoming deadlines. The opportunity for connection slips away unnoticed. What if, instead, you chose to be fully present, to listen intently, to laugh wholeheartedly, to savor the moment? These are the moments that create meaning and joy. Ask yourself, how often do you let the present slip through your fingers while chasing shadows of the past or future? The present moment is fleeting, yet it holds infinite potential. It's where life happens, where change begins, and where gratitude blossoms. Living in the present is a quiet, private practice, a discipline of the mind and heart. It's about finding peace in the now, even amidst life's uncertainties. The past is gone, the future is unwritten, but the present is yours to cherish. In its stillness, you'll discover not only yourself, but the profound beauty of simply being alive. Pause, breathe, and embrace the present. It's all you truly have. 4. Develop self-discipline. Self-discipline is the foundation of personal growth, the quiet force that propels us toward our goals, no matter how steep the path may seem. It's not about rigid control or denying yourself joy. It's about aligning your actions with your values and long-term aspirations. The Stoics understood this deeply, teaching that discipline is the bridge between who we are and who we strive to become. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who rose from slavery to profound wisdom, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery begins with small, deliberate choices, waking up early to seize the day, saying no to fleeting temptations, and staying committed to what truly matters. Discipline is not a single act, but a daily practice, a steady rhythm that builds strength over time. Consider the story of Admiral William H. McRaven, whose famous advice to make your bed each morning echoes Stoic principles. This simple act of discipline sets the tone for the day, creating a sense of accomplishment and order. It's a reminder that even the smallest efforts, when repeated consistently, can lead to monumental change. The Stoics viewed self-discipline as a form of freedom. It liberates us from the whims of fleeting desires, the pull of distractions, and the chaos of an undirected life. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this in his writings. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. His words remind us that discipline is not just about external actions, but also about mastering our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Ask yourself, how often do you let short-term gratification derail your long-term goals? How much of your potential is left untapped because of hesitation or procrastination? Self-discipline is the antidote. It's the quiet, private effort that no one sees but everyone feels in the results. It's the commitment to show up for yourself, even when the world feels heavy. Developing discipline doesn't require grand gestures. Start small, set a goal, create a routine, and honor it. Over time, these small acts of discipline compound, shaping you into a person of strength and integrity. The Stoics believed that excellence is the result of consistent effort, and self-discipline is the tool that chisels greatness out of the raw material of life. In the end, self-discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about choosing what matters most over what feels easiest. And as you cultivate this virtue, you'll find that discipline is not a burden, but a gift, a pathway to freedom, fulfillment, and the life you were meant to live. Start today, and let discipline guide you toward your greatest potential. 5. Cultivate emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, often throwing us into storms we never anticipated. In these moments, emotional resilience becomes our anchor, grounding us amidst chaos and uncertainty. It's the ability to endure, adapt, and grow stronger through adversity. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, offer us a roadmap to cultivate this strength, not by denying our emotions, but by understanding and mastering them. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who endured the hardships of slavery, taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. His words remind us that while we cannot control the external world, we hold the power to shape our internal response. Emotional resilience begins here with the recognition that our emotions are not enemies to be suppressed, but signals to be understood and guided. Consider a moment of personal loss, a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or an unexpected setback. It's natural to feel pain, frustration, or disappointment. The Stoics would encourage us to sit with these emotions, to acknowledge their presence without letting them consume us. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced immense challenges, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength lies in choosing how we frame our experiences, finding meaning even in hardship. Take, for example, Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who found purpose even in the darkest of circumstances. He believed that while suffering is inevitable, we can choose how to respond to it. His story echoes the Stoic principle of resilience, the ability to transform pain into growth, despair into purpose. Building emotional resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about preparing for them. It's about developing habits that strengthen your inner world, practicing gratitude, reframing negative thoughts, and leaning on a support system when needed. Ask yourself, when faced with difficulty, do I dwell on what I lost, or do I focus on what I can learn? This shift in perspective is the cornerstone of resilience. The journey to emotional resilience is not linear. It's a practice that requires patience, self-compassion, and persistence. There will be moments when you falter, and that's okay. Resilience is not about being unshakable. It's about rising each time you fall a little stronger, a little wiser. In the end, emotional resilience is a quiet strength, a deep well of courage that allows you to face life's storms with grace. It's the ability to bend without breaking, to endure without losing hope, and to find light even in the darkest moments. And as you cultivate this resilience, you'll discover a profound truth. The storms of life may shape you, but they do not define you. You define yourself. 6. Reflect on mortality. Memento mori. Life is fleeting, a fragile thread that can be severed at any moment. This truth, though uncomfortable, holds profound wisdom if we dare to face it. The Stoics embraced this reality with the concept of memento mori, meaning remember that you must die. Far from being morbid, this reflection on mortality was their way of living fully, with purpose and clarity. To remember death is, paradoxically, to remember life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." These words are not meant to instill fear, but to awaken awareness. Mortality is not an enemy to be avoided. It is a teacher, a reminder of what truly matters. When we accept the impermanence of life, we free ourselves from trivial concerns, from wasting time on things that do not serve our higher purpose. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, the waves crashing rhythmically against the shore. Each wave, like a moment in life, comes and goes, never to return. The Stoics would urge you to ask, am I fully present for this wave, or am I distracted by what has already passed or what lies beyond the horizon? Reflecting on mortality sharpens our focus, helping us live with intention rather than drifting aimlessly. Consider the story of Steve Jobs, who famously said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." His reflection on death wasn't a source of despair, but a catalyst for action. It pushed him to take risks, to create, to live authentically. This mindset echoes the Stoic belief that death is not an end, but a motivator, a reminder to live a life true to oneself. When was the last time you paused to consider the brevity of life? Not in fear, but in gratitude. Memento mori is not a call to dwell on death, but to cherish life. It urges us to let go of grudges, to speak words of kindness, to pursue what sets our soul on fire. It reminds us that time is the most precious resource, and how we spend it defines the legacy we leave behind. To reflect on mortality is to strip life down to its essence. It is to see clearly what matters and what does not. In the face of death, every moment becomes sacred, every choice significant. And as we carry this awareness, we find not despair but a deeper appreciation for the beauty of existence. Memento mori is not a shadow over life, it is the light that reveals its brilliance. 7. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is the quiet force that transforms how we see the world. It's not just about saying thank you for what we have, it's about cultivating a deep awareness of life's gifts, even in moments of struggle. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, believed that gratitude is the key to contentment and resilience. They taught us to recognize the abundance within, even when the external world feels lacking. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Gratitude, for the Stoics, wasn't conditional, it wasn't reserved for when life was easy or when things went our way. Instead, it was a practice rooted in perspective. They believed that by focusing on what we already have rather than what we lack, we can shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Imagine a moment when life felt overwhelming, perhaps a time of loss, uncertainty, or disappointment. In such moments, gratitude might feel distant, even impossible, but the Stoics would remind us to look closer. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, encouraged himself to find value in even the smallest things: the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, the lessons hidden in adversity. Gratitude, he believed, is not found in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments we often overlook. Consider the story of a man who lost his job, a setback that left him feeling defeated. Yet, as he reflected, he began to see the silver linings, the extra time he could spend with his family, the opportunity to pursue a passion he had long neglected, the resilience he discovered within himself. This shift in perspective didn't erase the challenge, but it gave him the strength to move forward with hope and purpose. Gratitude, in this sense, became his compass, guiding him through uncertainty. Ask yourself, when was the last time you paused to truly appreciate what you have? Not just the big things, but the small, often unnoticed blessings that color your days. Gratitude is a practice, a habit of the heart. It's about choosing to see the beauty in the ordinary, to find light even in the shadows. In practicing gratitude, we open ourselves to joy. We learn to embrace life as it is, not as we wish it to be. It softens the edges of hardship, deepens our connections with others, and anchors us in the present moment. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it's a way of being, a path to a fuller, richer life. And as we practice it, we discover that the more grateful we are, the more life gives us to be grateful for. 8. Strive for personal excellence. Personal excellence is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey, a relentless pursuit of becoming the best version of yourself. It's about setting a standard for your life that reflects your highest values and aspirations. The Stoics understood this deeply, teaching that true greatness is not measured by wealth, fame, or external success, but by the strength of character and the commitment to live virtuously. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." These words serve as a call to action, urging us to define our vision of excellence and to align our daily actions with that vision. Excellence is not achieved in grand leaps, but in the quiet, consistent choices we make every day. It's waking up early to work on your craft, choosing integrity over convenience, and pushing yourself to grow, even when it's uncomfortable. Consider the story of legendary basketball player Michael Jordan. Known for his extraordinary talent, Jordan's greatness was not merely a result of natural ability, was his unwavering commitment to discipline, practice, and improvement. He famously said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His journey illustrates a key Stoic principle. Excellence is forged through effort, resilience, and the willingness to embrace failure as a teacher. The Stoics believed that striving for excellence is not about perfection, but about progress. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who carried immense responsibility, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." His words remind us that excellence is not theoretical, it is practical. It is found in action, in the way we show up for ourselves and others, in the courage to pursue our potential despite the obstacles. Ask yourself, what does personal excellence mean to you? Is it about achieving external recognition, or is it about living a life of purpose, integrity, and growth? True excellence is not about competing with others, it's about competing with who you were yesterday. It's about striving to close the gap between your current self and your ideal self. The pursuit of excellence is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It requires discipline, humility, and a willingness to face discomfort. Yet, as you walk this path, you'll discover that the journey itself is the reward. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to your strength and determination. In the end, striving for personal excellence is not just about achieving greatness, it's about living a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. It's about knowing that, at the end of each day, you gave your best to the world and to yourself, and that is a legacy worth leaving behind. 9. Let go of external validation. The need for external validation can feel like a heavy chain, binding us to the expectations and opinions of others. It whispers that our worth is measured by applause, approval, or recognition. But the truth is liberating. Your value is not determined by the world's fleeting judgments. It is rooted in your character, your effort, and your inner peace. The Stoics understood this deeply, offering timeless wisdom to free us from the grip of external validation. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This isn't a call to embrace ignorance, but a reminder that personal growth often requires stepping away from society's approval. To live authentically, you must prioritize your principles over popularity, your purpose over praise. Think of a time when you hesitated to act because you feared criticism or rejection. Perhaps you held back an idea in a meeting, avoided pursuing a passion, or molded yourself to fit someone else's expectations. The Stoics would urge you to ask, "Whose life am I living?" Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced constant scrutiny, wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." His words remind us of the paradox: we often live seeking approval from others while neglecting the approval of our own conscience. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling. She faced rejection after rejection before publishing Harry Potter. Had she sought validation from the publishers who dismissed her work, the world might never have known her magical creation. Her journey illustrates the power of trusting your vision, even when others fail to see its worth. Like the Stoics, she teaches us that external validation is fleeting, but staying true to yourself is enduring. Ask yourself, are you living to fulfill your potential or to meet someone else's expectations? Letting go of external validation doesn't mean ignoring feedback or isolating yourself. It means grounding your sense of worth in who you are, not in how others perceive you. It's about finding the courage to act according to your values, even when it's unpopular or misunderstood. When you release the need for validation, you unlock a profound freedom. You stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose. You stop fearing judgment and start embracing authenticity. And in doing so, you discover a truth the Stoics knew well: the only validation that truly matters is the one that comes from within. 10. Embrace change. Change is the only constant in life, a truth, both humbling and empowering. It sweeps through our days like an unstoppable tide, reshaping the landscapes of our lives. While we often resist it, clinging to the familiar, the Stoics teach us that embracing change is the key to growth, resilience, and peace. To resist change is to resist life itself, but to accept it is to unlock the freedom to adapt and thrive. Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, famously said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man." The Stoics echoed this sentiment, urging us to see change not as an enemy but as a natural part of existence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe how all things are continually being born of change. Teach yourself to see that nature loves nothing so much as to change the things that are." These words remind us that change is not a disruption, it is creation in motion. Consider a time in your life when change felt overwhelming. Perhaps it was the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or an unexpected move to a new city. In those moments, it's easy to feel unmoored, as though the ground beneath your feet has shifted. But the Stoics would encourage you to ask, what opportunity does this change bring? For every ending, there is a beginning. For every loss, there is space for something new to grow. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who endured unimaginable suffering, yet emerged with profound insights about life. He wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." His resilience came not from resisting change, but from adapting to it, finding meaning even in the harshest of circumstances. His journey exemplifies the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control, thoughts, actions, and attitudes rather than what lies beyond it. Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped fearing change and started welcoming it? To embrace change is to let go of the illusion of permanence and to step into the flow of life with courage and curiosity. It is to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more adaptable. Change is not easy, it can be unsettling, even painful, but it is also a gift, a chance to reinvent yourself and to discover depths of strength and creativity you never knew you had. The Stoics remind us that life is not static. It is a dynamic, ever-evolving journey. And when we embrace change, we embrace life in all its beauty, uncertainty, and potential. 11. Practice compassion and empathy. Compassion and empathy are the bridges that connect us to one another. They allow us to see beyond our own struggles and into the hearts of others. They are not signs of weakness, but profound strengths that deepen our humanity and remind us of the shared experiences that unite us all. The Stoics, often seen as champions of resilience and self-discipline, also understood the transformative power of compassion and empathy. They believed that by understanding others, we better understand ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This simple yet profound reflection invites us to approach others not with judgment, but with understanding. It reminds us that no one is perfect, and our shared imperfections are what make us human. Imagine a moment when someone's actions hurt or disappointed you. It's easy to react with anger or resentment, but the Stoics would encourage us to pause and consider, what might they be going through? Often, people's actions are shaped by their unseen battles, the fears, insecurities, and pains they carry silently. Empathy allows us their shoes, to see the world through their eyes, and to respond with kindness rather than criticism. Consider the story of a teacher who noticed a student constantly acting out in class. Instead of punishing the child, she took the time to understand his situation and discovered he was struggling with challenges at home. By showing compassion, she not only helped the student feel seen and supported, but also transformed his behavior. Her empathy became a catalyst for change, proving that understanding can heal wounds far deeper than punishment ever could. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to someone, not just to their words, but to the emotions behind them? Compassion begins with listening, with being present for others without judgment or distraction. It's about offering a safe space where they can be vulnerable, knowing they won't be met with rejection or indifference. Practicing compassion and empathy doesn't mean ignoring your own needs or tolerating harmful behavior. It means recognizing that we are all navigating the complexities of life, often doing the best we can with what we have. It's about choosing connection over division, understanding over judgment, and kindness over indifference. In a world that often feels divided, compassion and empathy are acts of quiet rebellion. They remind us that our shared humanity is far greater than our differences. And as we practice them, we not only uplift others, but also enrich our own lives, discovering that the more we give of ourselves, the more we receive in return. 12. Engage in self-reflection and growth. Self-reflection is the mirror through which we see ourselves as we truly are, not as the world perceives us, nor as we wish to be, but as we exist in this moment. It is an act of courage, requiring honesty and vulnerability, yet it is also the foundation of growth. Without reflection, we remain stagnant, blind to the lessons life offers us. The Stoics, masters of introspection, believed that self-reflection is not just a tool but a necessity for living a meaningful life. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." This insight reminds us that much of our inner turmoil comes not from external events, but from our own minds. Self-reflection allows us to confront these fears, to question our assumptions, and to untangle the stories we tell ourselves. It is through this process that we find clarity, and with clarity, we find the path forward. Think of a moment when you faced a setback or failure. Perhaps it was a missed opportunity, a broken relationship, or a mistake that weighed heavily on your heart. In these moments, it's tempting to dwell on blame either toward others or ourselves. But the Stoics would ask, what can I learn from this? Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced immense challenges, often reflected on his actions and decisions, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words remind us that growth begins within, in how we choose to perceive and respond to our experiences. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. He famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His resilience was rooted in self-reflection, a willingness to analyze his efforts, learn from his mistakes, and adapt. Like the Stoics, Edison understood that growth is not linear. It is a process of trial, error, and continuous improvement. Ask yourself, when was the last time you paused to reflect on your day, your choices, your goals? Self-reflection doesn't require hours of meditation or elaborate rituals. It begins with a simple question: am I living in alignment with my values? From there, growth becomes a natural progression, a series of small, deliberate steps toward becoming the person you aspire to be. Engaging in self-reflection is not about dwelling on the past. It's about using the past as a guide for the future. It's about embracing your imperfections, celebrating your progress, and committing to the journey of becoming. The Stoics remind us that growth is not an endpoint, but a way of life. As we reflect, we grow. As we grow, we move closer to the truest, most authentic version of ourselves. Stoicism is more than ancient philosophy. It's a timeless guide for modern life. It teaches us to let go of external validation, embrace change, practice compassion, and reflect deeply to grow. These principles empower us to face challenges with courage, find peace in the chaos, and live a life of meaning and purpose. Now it's your turn. Apply these teachings. Make every moment count. Start today. Choose resilience, choose growth, and choose to live authentically. If this resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who needs it. Comment below, live with purpose, and let us know how you'll begin your Stoic journey. Together, let's create a life of strength and wisdom.